A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. Ho ho, holy hellacious! Welcome to Turn 200. It's that time. Yes, indeed. The multi-clash charity bash for Toys for Tots in partnership with the American Sim Racing League. It is right here on Turn 200. I hope you are feeling the holiday spirit, because the holiday spirit is about to be replaced with the sim racing spirit, if that makes any sense at all. 5 classes out of a possible 6, taking 2. Watkins Glen here tonight for a 2.4-hour endurance race, all for Toys for Tots, and it's all right here with your hosts with the most, Tommy Cook and Matt Williamson. Oh, man. This has been quite the day, but it's all going to be worth it here. It is time, just about, to get to it.
Yeah, we are awfully excited for this one. We've spent quite a bit of time Corey Rutherford has really done the most of the legwork, but we'll mention that a little bit later, I'm sure. But we are going to be running the session here and broadcasting at the same time, and it's going to be a treat for us. It's going to be a treat for you, and hopefully it'll be a big old treat for Toys for Tots at the end of the night. We do have a goal for donations. The donation link is pinned to the top of the chat, so if you would like to donate tonight, it would be greatly appreciated. 100% of that donation goes to Toys for Tots, and I actually think it goes directly to Toys for Tots through that link. We haven't linked to their account, so please donate.
Absolutely. Let's tell you the classes that we've got in action here tonight. The biggest class and the fastest is the Super LMP2, represented solely here tonight by the Delara P127, which is making its Turn 200 debut here tonight. Then we have 2 representatives racing the Daredevil Series sanctioned Lotus 79. Then we've got some representatives here. Let's see. 7 ASRL sanctioned GT3s. Nobody elected to run the GT4 here tonight, but that's all right. And the rest of the field is made up by the Venom Truck Series NASCAR trucks. Some very familiar names here to Turn 200, some acquaintances, and some brand new faces that we're going to get to know throughout the course of the night, including yours, hopefully. Drop us a chat. Let us know who's hanging out with us, who you want us to keep our eyes on, who you think is fast, who you're rooting for here tonight. And we will absolutely be paying attention, because we've got a lot of time. We've got a lot of time here tonight to check out everybody in this field. And it is that time. So, without further ado, here is the starting lineup for the 2023 Turn 200 Multi-Class Charity Bash for Toys for Tots here at Watkins Glen. With the quick time, Of course, in the Super LMP2s, it is Nick Nickerson making his debut here tonight on turn 200 with a time of 1:33.773. Then it is our good friend James Lehman from Maximum Velocity Racing League. He is second quickest in qualifying. The 7 of Grant Turner will start in third. And it's our friend Josh Heggie in fourth. Dalton Kilroe is also in the Super LMP2. He will round out your top 5 starters with Will Kirk to his outside. And Kyle Zittel also rocking the Super LMP2. And Luke Peterson as well, but he's a little bit further down. Then we get to the Lotus 79s. It is Ross Harlow making his debut here tonight alongside the Team Watson Racing entry. I believe James Watson is going to start this race, but JJ Wang will sub in at some point. Then to the GT3s, it is Brody Gunter, the reigning GT3 champion in the American Sim Racing League, with Brian Deese to his outside. The GT4 champion in the GT3 tonight, that is Jarrell Williams, who will be in action tomorrow night for the Mission R Challenge. He starts in third in the class. Kenny Stepp, the man who he beat for that title, will start right next to him. Then Jan Van Leer and Dave Payton, rest of the GT3s. To the NASCAR trucks we go. Nathan Palawoda and Oz Kennard, teammates on that front row. Ty Marasco will make his debut tonight with Steve Froman to his outside. Then Luke Peterson and Gabe Rogers, a little bit out of sequence there throughout the field. Patrick Combs and Matt Burkhardt, also from Maximum Velocity Racing League, rounds out the field here tonight. It is a paid entry. All of it goes to Toys for Tots. And like that said, the link is in the chat here if you would like to make a donation as well. It all helps us reach our goal tonight, which is set at $2,000. Matt Williamson, some notes here for this race, which is going to be a long one, but in a good way.
Yeah, for broadcasting purposes, this will be the longest race we've ever been a part of. So this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint for sure. The track temperature right now is 84 degrees, so that's a nice good temperature for pretty much all of these cars and trucks here we have tonight. The fuel capacity is at 100% for all classes, and fuel capacity for all of these classes is wildly different. There is a large range for fuel between all the classes here tonight, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. They have unlimited tires, but damage is on. They have 3 fast repairs, and at some point tonight there's supposed to be a full course yellow, although I don't know if we will be able to get that done, but that is supposed to be coming at some point. We'll see if it comes to fruition. As we take a look at the field, and this is the boot version of Watkins Glen, by the way, so we're doing the whole kit and caboodle here tonight for the charity bash.
And I went mute there for a second, so I don't know if you have already covered ground that I am about to cover there. Were you just going through the race notes?
Yep, went through the race notes, and I did mention I'm not sure the full course yellow will be able to happen or not, but that's what's supposed to be on the schedule here.
Well, the full course yellow will definitely happen. An original feature that we were going to have in this race has been scrapped in accordance with the drivers and sort of the circumstances of the night. There are going to be no paid penalties here tonight. And we've got Corey Rutherford in the chat. So I do want to mention that Corey Rutherford did, I want to say, upwards of 90% of the work to get this event going here tonight. He really did all of the grunt work to get this event in motion, to keep it in motion, and to get us across the finish line here. Unfortunately, some things have come up for Corey today, but thank you for hanging out in the chat and sending all the best to you and your family here tonight. And hopefully we could bring you a little bit of joy as you get to see the fruits of your labor come to fruition here. With one more trip around the final turn of Watkins Glen, the pace car should be off this time, and we are about to get underway. Field is under the control of the Dallara P127s, in the multi-class Charity Bash is green at Watkins Glen. 5 of the weirdest classes you'll ever see taken to the track all together. They all barrel towards turn number 1. It's Nick Nickerson with the top spot, headed towards the S's.
See a lot of the field single file already. There's an LMP2 and a truck side by side a little bit farther back in the field. That's Luke Peterson and Steve Roman, who are no strangers to each other.
And oh, by the way, if you didn't notice there on the pace lap, this isn't just Watkins Glen. It's the Boot Brother. We're taking the boot tonight. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you and I very excited about the boot version here tonight. Something we rather enjoy highly, and we've only gotten to have it on the channel, I think, one time. So it's good to have it back here, and it's a beautiful place to have the charity bash here.
Absolutely. There were a couple of tracks that were in the running to host, but Watkins Glen was always the top priority. So I'm glad we were able to nail down a. Yep, go for it.
In the GT3 class, there's a battle for position already. Jan Van Leer looking to get around Ken Estep. These two still side by side here.
And Nickerson with the lead here on the opening lap. 2 hours and 23 minutes to go.
Is that all?
Is that all? Yes. Well, you're going to have fun reading through the chat at the end of this stream. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Good luck, brother. To me.
To you.
Yeah, I'm excited for this, but I can't wait for the day that we decide to take that little dot out of there and do a 24-hour race. I'm sure that's coming at some point in the future. I'm not going to say near future, though.
I'm not going to say it at all. But, it's half your channel, so if you want to be my guest, I'll show up for some of it.
I think that's in the cards before before our lifespan on this channel is over.
Josh Hagee got a bit flirtatious there with the toe in the boot.
Matt Schlosser calling for the Formula V choose cone and for the full course yellow.
There will never be another choose cone other than our good friend Cody Clay. He is not partaking here tonight, as I think Kyle Zittel just had, unless that was Will Kirk. It was Will Kirk. He just had a tank slapper, but kept it out of the wall.
Yeah, still rolling strong here, just behind Dalton Killero.
And James Lehman in the overall battle for the lead just set the purple lap of the race. So he is trying to track down Nick Nickerson here in the top spot. It is Ross Harlow with about a second advantage over James Watson in the Lotus 79s. And Brody Gunter putting some distance between he and Brian Deese right now for the GT3s. NASCAR truck lead is under a second, but it belongs to Nathan Palawota, who ran the boot layout of Watkins Glen very nicely here just a few weeks ago.
Luke Peterson in this LMP2 had to start a little bit farther back in the field, still working his way through multi-class traffic, if you will. Just got by the leader of the GT3 class, Brody Gunter, and has quite a ways to go, but should at some point get to James Watson and Ross Harlow in the Lotus 79 field. And unfortunately, we don't have more Lotus 79s. It is no secret. It's one of our favorite cars on the service.
And why is that, Matt? Is there anything in particular coming up with the Lotus 79?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Maybe Daredevil Series Season 4? Ooh. That's right. It's returning in January.
Absolutely. Recruitment race on January the 10th. And you better be here. Not just for the recruitment race, obviously, but for all 9 weeks, 10 races of sanctioned competition starting January 17th. Locked and loaded schedule with the Lotus 79s, the best car on the sim. Thank you to Ross Harlow and the reigning Daredevil Series champion, James Watson, for putting this car on track here tonight. It is much appreciated. Ross Harlow, I do want to say, making his debut here on tonight, had an absolutely stellar-looking paint scheme lined up for this car, but did not upload it as a team livery. Just put it as the personal one. So it is an all blacked-out number 5 here, but I can tell you for sure that car looks pretty good. So, open invite to Ross if he wants to showcase it on Wednesday nights. He's more than welcome to.
Yeah, and also shout out to Ross. I had to message him for technical purposes. He's running a camera for us here tonight, which is on your screen as we speak. So thank you to Ross for putting the camera up for us to watch throughout the night. That's always appreciated. Another driver that's running a camera for us here tonight that we're not familiar with is Grant Turner. He is in the LMP2 class, currently running 3rd.
I do want to say, before we get too deep into this, that this is the car inside camera. Nathan Reynolds actually put up the money here tonight to run these in-car cameras, and the driver's more than happy to be a part of it. So thank you to Nathan Reynolds. I actually got a phone call from him, which was a scary thought. But he gave me a call and set it up here right before we got on air. So thank you to Nathan Reynolds and his channel Car Inside. Oh no, Ross Harlow has gone for a spin through turn number 1 as the Super LMP2s are already in lap traffic in the form of the trucks. Unfortunately for Harlow, he has picked up the first meatball flag of the night. The good news is that he has 3 fast repairs, but you don't want to burn one up 7 minutes into the race.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention that this car in particular is probably going to be the hardest car to keep control of here tonight.
Yes.
I know that the trucks are kind of tough here as well, but just the way the tire model and everything is here with the Lotus 79, it can be a doozy. So those guys are going to have to be careful that are in this class. This one has a little bit more attrition in the recipe, if you will, than some of the other cars here. So that's going to have to be at the forefront here tonight. And unfortunately, it has claimed 1 fast repair for Ross already.
Well, the thing is, it's not just the tire model, but it's also the track temperature, with this actually being set sim-wise on December 25th. Also, we run the Daredevil series at a maximum of 8.5 gallons. We are running 100% fuel capacity in the Lotus tonight, which is 33 gallons. Way more than you'll ever need. But, James Watson, speaking of which, has just gone for a spin in almost the same spot as Ross Harlow. I don't think he hit anything, though. And we've got a battle on our hands for the outright lead. James Lehman is caught up to Nick Nickerson.
Thanks to anybody that's in the chat already here tonight. Monstrosity hanging out with us. Peter Donchak, who has a very nice donation in for Toys for Tots. We always appreciate that. Obviously, Corey's in the chat as well. GT500. And Matt Schlosser talking about the 24-hour race. He says he's down for one at some point. Corey says he's already got an idea in his mind about it as well.
Dangerous thinking.
But that's what we do here.
I do believe GT500 Cobra in the chat is Grant Turner, who is running in overall 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
And since we started the stream, we did have a $10 donation from Anonymous. So whoever that is, thank you very much.
Maybe it's the organization.
Wouldn't that be something?
That certainly would.
Are they still around?
Probably.
I feel like I haven't heard from Anonymous for about 15 years.
That means you're on the right side of things, I think.
Yes, they messaged me personally 15 years ago.
Well, you shaped up. Congratulations. I will say James Lehman absolutely sent it there through the bus stop. He had all 4 tires off the ground going over the curbing. But he is still right here. And Lehman had been putting together some really nice runs of late in the Formula Super Series, which runs here on Monday with the Super Formula. Unfortunately, he hasn't really got the finishes to go with it. A bit more downforce on the Super LMP2.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. This thing is hammer down for the most part. But Nick Nickerson is a new name for us here, but is making his presence known immediately. Has led every single lap thus far.
Oh, wow!
Oh, but hung up there in GT3 traffic. Lehman's got to run. He's going to at least take a peek through the S's here.
That was a really close call. They're almost disastrous for Nickerson. And I believe it was Dave Payton in the GT3.
This is Lehman still looking out to the left here in the bus stop, but will fall back in line. So, crisis averted for now. So I believe Patrick Combs in the NASCAR truck has gone for a spin and come into the pits and has since exited the pits. No changes for the lead for the trucks for now, but Ty Marasco is making a pass on Nathan as they had to let some Daredevil traffic through. Palawota having to fight for it.
Yeah, and this for the lead in the trucks. These two about 3 seconds in front of third place driver Steve Roman right now. And when you start battling this early on, I feel like it's easy to kind of get yourself in a push mode in your head, and that's not always the good strategy to have here.
Class leads right now, Nickerson by less than half a second. Watson by 40 seconds with a pit stop from Ross Harlow.
Wow, looked like a bit of an attempt at a bumper run. Oh, is one of the other trucks is off. That's Patrick Combs.
This set is not easy in the trucks. Palawota way wide. Marasco also similarly wide. We'll make up a little bit of ground. He has a comfortable lead for James Watson right now. Brody Gunter with a similar lead of about 10 seconds. So the battle for the outright lead and the battle for the truck are very close. And we've got Joshua Rutherford hanging out in the chat as well. He says he's also down for a 24-hour race, so I guess that's it's probably going to happen at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately for you, I think I may have opened the can of worms already. That's not going to happen for probably at least a year, though. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, this time next year. This time, I don't know. When does GTA 6 come out? We'll shoot for it then.
The GTA 6 charity bash, 24 hours.
When they put the Miami Grand Prix track in here, that's what we'll do it then. Oh, Steve Roman has gone for a spin. He was third in the trucks. I guess is still third in the trucks, but it has fallen back to Oz Kanar now.
Yep, Oz is right here, ready to pounce. That's Dave Payton, which is actually for position.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Payton with a bit of a problem early.
Dave Payton now has a full season of sports car racing under his belt.
Oh boy, Oz Kanar He really pushed it there to the inside of Roman, had to lock it up. And that was Ross Harlow in the Lotus 79 going through.
Wow! Nick Nickerson just sent it up the middle, 3 wide through a truck and a GT3. And James Lehman tried to thread the needle, but didn't make it. Bold moves for the race leader, and it's going to get him his biggest lead of the entire event thus far. That was impressive. And scary.
More truck traffic in front now. And that is the aforementioned Roman and Oskanar who are still battling.
Palawoda's widened the lead back out to half a second. And they've got Ross Harlow coming up on them. They'll let Harlow roll through. Oh, we've got some battling for third now in the overall position. Whoa! Grant Turner tagged, and we got a pile up.
It's a big pile up.
That's the GT3 leader, Brody Gunter. That all started with a spun-out truck, I do believe, in front of Grant Turner. Turner piles in. Quite a few people got a piece of that one.
And Gunter is crab walking the GT3.
So that is Gunter's lead dashed, and that will give the lead now to Brian Deese as he motors on by.
Oh wow, this was just a mess.
Yes, it was. It's gonna be a night of messes here.
It's a truck in front. That's Steve Roman trying to get through. Brody Gunter is right behind. Oh, it looked like it was actually a GT3 that was stopped. That had gone around. I'm not sure who that was. I think it may have been Dave Payton.
I think it was Dave Payton, yes.
And the LMP2s had to try to go to the inside, but got tagged and then came across the racetrack. Wow.
What a odd group of circumstances there for that all to line up.
But Grant Turner's finally making his way down pit road as we speak. Obviously looking ready to take a fast repair here early on.
And we are not even to the 2-hour mark of what's remaining here. 18 minutes into this race. And Corey gave me the actual number. This isn't technically a 2.4-hour race. It's technically 2.4 something because you can't make it 24 minutes. You have to make it 25. But it's a pretty ugly number.
Battle for the truck class lead. Still pretty close here. Under a second between Palawoda and Ty Marasco.
These pitches are just getting worse and worse. I mean, in a good way. Oh, Lord.
I say we do it with the trucks with damage off. How about that? Figure 8 configuration.
The figure 8, yep. There you go.
Why not go for all the marbles?
That would be a lot of marbles.
50,000, apparently.
50,000 laps. Sounds about right. You and I, not this year, but 2 out of the 4 years that there's been a Moon Car 24, we've been in that.
How many
Unfortunately,
laps did you turn 1 year, Tommy?
That's what I was leading up to. The first year that we did that, I got us into that race very hastily. Didn't realize we didn't have a fully committed team behind it. So I had to do the bulk of the laps that year. The total was 2,004 laps. The only person that outlapped me in that race was the person that did the entire race by themselves.
And that is just
ridiculous.
The worst thing I've ever heard.
I still can't swing a golf club properly, I don't think. Not that I ever could before that, but I really can't now.
And you and I nearly did that race, just the two of us.
I mean, we had an hour and a half stint from Hunter Leach mixed in the middle of that.
No, it was not in the middle. It was, oh no, it was. It was. You're right.
Towards the beginning.
It was pretty close to the beginning, though.
Yeah. The less said about that, the better. Second year went much smoother. Shout out to Kresge, DeMade, and Siefker, I think, was the team with us that time.
Yes,
and hopefully the dates
to get quite a bit of sleep.
Hopefully the dates will line up better next year to where we can do it. Again, I would love to. But it'll probably be too popular next year and we won't get invited back, so.
Here's a battle for position. This is Brody Gunter, who was caught up in that big wreck, entering the boot, getting around Gabe Rogers.
Yeah, so Gunter really on the back foot here. He's going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I think he's about 45 seconds from Brian Deese, who now leads the GT3 class.
Battle for the truck lead is shaping up once again. Oh no! Marasco!
That was Brian Deese, the GT3 class leader, that just nudged the back of Marasco there. And now a Lotus 79 coming into the picture. That's James Watson.
I can't believe Marasco saved that. That was incredible. What a wheelman.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. We have lots of traffic piling up right now.
Yeah, it's all stacking up here once again.
This is Dave Payton in a GT3, actually a pass for position. The other GT3, I'm not quite sure who that is. I think it's... No, it's not Jan Van Leer. That's Jarrell Williams.
Oh, man, Matt Burkhardt has got turned around, I think, in the bus stop. But truck looks okay, and no meatball flag, so should be able to keep going.
And there's a few of these teams that are actual teams with multiple drivers. So we'll see I would assume one stint and then another stint in the race from the other driver on the teams. But there's a lot of these drivers that are doing the whole almost 2.5 hours by themselves. And I can speak from experience running 3-hour stints in that Mooncar 24. It hurts by the end of it.
At least there's some right turns in the mix here. That helps to break up the monotony. When you're racing a Miata at Martinsville, it's just hard, constant lefts over and over and over. It just sucks after a while, but it is fun.
James Lehman is...
Well, he's back.
He's back.
That developed so quickly. The lead was just 1.6 seconds, and all of a sudden, it's less than a car length. So maybe Nickerson caught up in some traffic here. He is now, as he's jetting by Steve Vroman. And Lehman trying to do the same.
Here's the cockpit view for Lehman as he continues to reel Nickerson in and hopefully take the overall lead here. Well, that's what he's hoping anyways.
I'm sure he is. I don't know if that's what Nick is wanting, though. Probably not.
I should mention, generally, we have fuel mileage for most of our races pretty down pretty well, I would say. But with this many classes, they are pitting as they may, and we have no idea when it's going to happen.
I would say the trucks are about halfway through their fuel stint right now. They're working lap 13. They should probably get 22 to 24 laps. I think you can get about, on a full tank of fuel for the Lotus 79, 80 laps? So
it's a lot.
they're good for a while. The Delara P127, not a clue. Not a damn clue. They could have a half-gallon tank for all I know. I have no idea.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Look at these
LMP2
moves.
class leaders are
Whoa!
coming in. Whoa!
That was a send and a half there.
And these are other class leaders in the trucks. That is Nathan Palawota and Ty Marasco that they just went around.
Brasco with a bit of a squeeze there. Holy cow.
We've had 3 of the class leaders all together at one time, and they are wildly different speeds and lines that need to be taken. It's something.
I love this.
It's a sight to behold. Yeah, you and I love multi-class racing, especially vehicles
multi-class.
as out there as these out on the track together. This is what we live for right here.
Yes. 3 of my favorite races that we've ever put on were just meme races. The Bristol Bashes, wild car combinations around Bristol every single time as Lehman wheeling it through the boot here.
Yeah, that was a scary moment for sure for James Lehman right there. Neil Lusher in the chat wondering what time the race starts. He is he's registered for the Lotus 79 class, and I think you're just a bit late.
Oh,
but still
man.
plenty of time to get racing in, just under 2 hours.
Oh, Ozkanar is parked across the track here, and will... Again, I don't know if he hit anything, so that's good.
And to be honest, if you get in right now, you might be able to outlast the other 2 Lotus 79s and still win the class. Who knows?
Well, I know Johnny Alford was looking forward to racing here tonight. I think he has maybe gotten his internet issues resolved. It says that he's connected to the session, so maybe he'll get in a later stint here. But I know he was having some internet problems. I know Brody Gunter is also under threat of some internet problems here, as it sounds like some storms are, some tropical storms are getting ready to roll through. So hopefully Brody Gunter can make it to the end of this race, and we'll keep his problems on track here, or really just don't have any problems at all. That would probably be the more preferred option.
Thank you to Luke Peterson for running a Car Inside camera here tonight as well. A lot of you probably aren't familiar with Car Inside, like most of the drivers in the Venom Truck Series are. Car Inside is ran by Nathan Reynolds, who I think is supposed to be participating in the race here tonight. I'm not sure if he had something come up or not. He will not be here tonight. Will not be here, okay. Was supposed to be here, I believe, but will not be. Anyways, he runs Car Inside, and if you run the Truck Series at all or any of the other NASCAR series, he has some great videos and tips and tricks, especially for qualifying, but just to how to run different setups in general. So if you're looking for some help, feel like you need it, or maybe just want to get a second opinion in what you're doing right now, go ahead and head on over to the Car Inside YouTube channel. Patrick
Combs has just picked up a meatball flag, unfortunately, as Nick Nickerson is just making some unreal moves through lap traffic to keep getting away from James Lehman. I believe he just got around Brian Deese there through the final turn of the track, and it was just an unreal move. And they have Grant Turner with them, who was running in third in the class before he picked up that meatball. So he's able to keep pace with these top 2 pretty well.
And I guess also should mention huge shout out to the drivers for coming out and running the event. I know Corey already mentioned, I think it's about $500 in entry fees that are going to go right to Toys for Tots. That all came from these drivers, plus some extra donations from the drivers and others that aren't participating. I'm not sure what the overall total is, but I want to say it's around $700 or $800 possibly right now. So thank you to everybody that has either entered the race or just donated out of the goodness of their hearts. We greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't yet and you are thinking about it, we would greatly appreciate it you can click the link that's pinned to the top of the chat.
Absolutely. Thank you to, I know for sure, people that have donated that will not be here tonight, on track anyway. Like you mentioned, Nathan Reynolds, also Peter Donchak, who's been in the chat here tonight. I know we've shouted him out already. But also Pascal Samard donated all of his winnings from last Saturday night's Turn 200 Championship race towards the Toys for Tots fund here, as James Lehman sizing up a move for the lead again. God, they take those rumble strips so hard in the bus stop. It just looks like they're going to go flying off into New Hampshire. But thank you to those, and I'm sure some other drivers that have made some non-entry fee donations already up to this point as well. Thank you to each and every one of you.
And will the third time be the charm for James Lehman? He's caught up to Nickerson a couple of times at this point. But
this is the sixth or seventh time, I think. at some point, Lehman's gonna get a look here. It's seeming to be hard to make it stick. Whether that's the car or whether that's Nick Nickerson remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, Nick in the 22 here, I mean, he's just done a great job of getting through multi-class traffic. It's gone his way. It's been a couple of really scary moments, but he's made it work, and James Lehman's kind of gotten the worst of those moments. Just from a speed standpoint, kind of getting caught up behind them. So that has played a huge role in how this battle has developed throughout the last 40 minutes or so.
Okay, we are over half an hour into this race, so I'm going to let Matt decide sometime between now and the last half hour of the race when we're going to throw a random caution.
Oh, boy.
Not to be now, just at some point.
Shout out to JJ Wang in the chat. Cheering on the teammate James Watson here tonight. Looking forward to seeing JJ in the car. This battle between Lehman and Nickerson has been hard to take our eyes off of here. Closest battle on the track, a majority of the race.
I mean, we're just getting spoiled.
There have been some very interesting moments that have come from it as well. Take a quick look at the track map. You can see all of the drivers that are scattered throughout the racetrack right now.
Oh, Matt Burkhart has just pounded the barriers through the bus stop.
And you see position number 22 stopped on the racetrack right now. That is Matt Burkhart. Trying to continue, hoping to maybe get to pit lane and get some damage fixed. Here goes Lehman underneath. Out of turn one. Will he have the positioning through the S's?
Yes. Lehman to the lead. That's the first time he's had the positioning there on the right into the S's. And now he'll take the lead for the first time. But can Nickerson make a comeback here? Headed to the bus stop. Flying it over the curbs.
I can see why we had so many entries with this car. It looks like a blast to drive.
Absolutely. This is the only battle within the class here for the Super LMP2s. Josh Hage's in third, Dalton Kilroe, Kyle Zittel, Will Kirk, and Luke Peterson. With actually Grant Turner in seventh, Luke Peterson in eighth. No battles for position now, or for the lead in any of the class. James Watson still with a comfortable lead as Ross Harlow had to take a meatball flag repair earlier. Brian Deese with a 7-second lead over Jarrell Williams in the GT4s. And Nathan Paluota just had a 2-second lead over Ty Marasco. It has now gone up to a 3-second lead. So Paluota with some distance now.
Yeah, and Paluota with a pretty big checkup here as traffic was trying to get through. So Marasco is going to be able to close that gap up a little bit here.
And now Nick Nickerson has just given up the lead. He's gone back to second and will now hit pit road.
Interesting. So about 40 minutes into this race, first pit stop here from an LMP2.
Matt Burkhardt followed him in, but Burkhardt, I believe, has a meatball flag, or at least has damage, or is actually just got his meatball flag taken. So there you go. JJ better be winning. Well, JJ Wang will be presumably the leader when he gets into the car, but as of right now, he's not in the car. James Watson is in that car.
Here's a quick look at Mr. Watson.
That is the Team Watson Racing Setups entry. Currently ahead of Team Ross Harlow, who is just Ross Harlow tonight.
I would also like to mention, if you're new to us and viewing Turn 200, the channel, if you would at least think about subscribing, it's free and it really helps us out. We are only 10 subscribers away from 500, and it would be a massive win for us to get that done here tonight. Watson! Wow, big moment there. Hit one of the rumble strips through on the entry to the bus stop, but was able to hang on to it. That was massive right there. Being able to have one more fast repair than your opponent in the class is huge here in the Lotus 79.
Oh, and Ross Harlow just picked up some damage. I don't think it's terminal damage, but it's damage nonetheless.
And here comes another LMP2 down pit road. That's Will Kirk.
It was Will Kirk, but I think he hit the barrier when he was trying to get slowed down and has picked up a meatball flag. But still has not taken any of his fast repairs, so to speak. We'll gladly take one right now.
And taking one, I mean, about 45 minutes into the race, taking one now, I mean, that's not a bad time to have to take one.
Kyle Zittle's just pounded the barriers into the boot.
Wow, so LMP2s, these tires must really start to be falling off here.
James Lehman coming in from the lead. So Lehman giving up the top spot.
Shout out to Michelle Kirk in the chat as well.
As always. Lovely to see Michelle Kirk here tonight. Lovely to see Will as well. Last Saturday night, of course, was our Turn 200 Championship race where we gathered all of the top drivers from all the series that we put on here on Turn 200 and put them all in Talladega. But this is an equally all-star feeling sort of night. A lot of different drivers who have been on the channel a lot, but never together. So it's another equally exciting sort of night here to not only mix those guys together, but to mix in some drivers who we know nothing about. We've just had our first driver swap of the night, as Calvin Levy has subbed in for Josh Hagee.
And most of the LMP2 class down pit road this last time as well. James Lehman, the leader in the class, came down pit road. Of course, Nickerson came down pit road quite a few laps ago at this point, so Lehman will be looking to track down the number 22 again here and have to make that pass.
James Watson, through all the Dallara P127 pit stops here, has moved up to 4th overall. With a full fuel load, the Lotus 79 is about 4 to 5 seconds slower than the Super LMP2. Every lap, that is. But I would imagine some 25 laps race that the speeds have got to be picking up a bit. And Nathan Palawoda has picked up a black flag. And I'm not sure how he managed to do that.
I'm guessing an off track that wasn't.
Oh, it was he had come
maybe?
into pit and I think had an improper pit exit. So that unfortunately is going to shake up the lead for the trucks now. As that should give control to Ty Marasco. Palawoda had built a pretty nice cushion in over.
Yeah, here is Palawoda behind him. Marasco in the middle of quite a bit of traffic with 2 GT3s and an LMP2.
Goodness gracious.
Or excuse me, Calvin Levy in front there. No, I take it back. It is Brody Gunter. My apologies.
And by the way, you mentioned the early pit stop for Nick Nickerson. He was the first person to pit properly. That got him the lead back by 11 seconds. I mean, just a huge time gain for the race leader once again.
Here's Palawoda into pit. Marasco has already gone around. I think Steve Roman will probably be able to get that position as well. Especially having to serve a penalty. Not sure about Oz Kanar. We'll have to see. But Palawoda probably going down to third place in the class here.
Grant Turner working on Kyle Zittel. That would be for fourth in the class.
By the way, I said that the LMP2s looked like they were having some issues with tire fall off. Garrett Rainey has confirmed that Kyle Zittel's left front was at 18% when he came down pit road. So yes, they are having quite a bit of issues with tire fall off here. I gotta notice that Ross Harlow had some sort of an incident.
Yes, he had a spin. I don't think he hit anything though. He is good to go and is going.
Oh yeah, through the bus stop there. He did touch the wall there. It didn't look like a ton of damage though. Hopefully able to continue without using a fast repair. Has used one already.
So what's going to be interesting here, and I wish there were more 79s, like you said earlier. But the Super LMP2 is going to have to pit 4 times before the Lotus 79 will have to pit. Right now, James Watson is in 4th overall.
Yeah, that is a good point. Now, the only, I guess, difference for the pit stops is when Watson does come in. Of course, there's going to be a driver swap with that team specifically.
Yes.
But it takes a while to put the fuel in for the Lotus 79, and they're probably going to have to put... Well, at that point, they won't have to put a ton of fuel in. But they will have to put some fuel in, and it takes a while to put fuel in the Lotus 79.
Unfortunately for Ross Harlow, he just had another spin and had some oncoming traffic, so elected to tow back to the pits. Unfortunately, he was in turn 1 when that happened, so he is going to be out of contention here for a while the sim tows him back to his pit. It is a fixed setup across the board for the champion crew chief to know here for the Mission R Challenge. By the way, Mission R Challenge back tomorrow. Mentioned James Watson and JJ Wang. JJ Wang, the reigning champ, will start his title defense tomorrow at Alton Park.
Closest battle on the track for position is between Grant Turner and Kyle Zittel. This is the LMP2 class. And Turner gives a little salute to everybody, knows he's on the stream right now.
And that battle had been pretty close there. But Turner faded away a bit. And kudos to Grant Turner for sticking it out. Remember, was running third overall. Third in the class, rather, and had a bit of a kerfuffle into the boot, to say the least. So still running in the top 5 here, doing a nice job. Some things to keep in mind as this race rolls by the way. ASRL Sports Car Championship just wrapped earlier this week. We will be doing the drawing for the MF Racing Design 00 Challenge tonight for the drivers of the ASRL Sports Car Championship. So some money on the line for those drivers. That does not come out of the charity fund, by the way. I should mention that is provided by MF Racing Design. It's an entirely separate thing, but we're doing it here on this stream, where a lot of the ASRL drivers will be. So you'll have that to look forward to here. Also to point out, at Matt Williamson's discretion and at my fingertips here lies the one and only caution that we will be getting during this race. So you have a random caution to look forward to sometime between now and the final 30 minutes of tonight's event. Thank you all very much for coming out and hanging out with us, supporting not only Turn 200, but also Toys for Tots. Again, the link is at the top of the comments section here if you would like to donate. Our goal is $2,000. Still got a ways to go, but any amount helps, not only to the goal, but more importantly for Toys for Tots here at the holiday season. But thank you all very much for coming out and supporting us here tonight and supporting these drivers who are also supporting Toys for Tots.
And we've had a couple new subscribers. I think we had 3 new subscribers here today. So thank you to anybody that subscribed to the channel. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate it. Our goal for a while has been 500, and we are right at the cusp of it. So if you know anybody else that might like to watch here tonight and support us, maybe send them a link to the race. Got some really good stuff coming up here. Brody Gunter is working his way through the field right now. He has Jan Van Leer in his sights, and Jan Van Leer getting held up a little bit by Nathan Palawota in a truck here. Makes this a really tight battle. Thought Gunter might look to the inside, thinks better of it.
That'll be one driver change up coming when the GT3s pit. Out will go Jan Van Leer, and in will come his ICR teammate, Dino, Michael Dean. But they said they are running number 25 tonight in honor and paying homage to Corey Rutherford, who, again, we could not have done this event without. Greatly appreciate him, and hope he and everybody are still watching here, because it's been a good one, that is for sure, as Gunter all over Jan now. This is
all over
third
Jan, and then has an LMP2 and Harlow in the Lotus 79 trying to work through traffic as well.
Woo!
All the while, Gunter trying to get this positioning through the S's. He will have it, but can he make it stick?
Tough place to be side by side in any car, let alone the GT3. Still are side by side, nose to nose, headed to the bus stop. Gunter prevails.
Yeah, Gunter with the advantage there. Oh, but a little bit of a hiccup.
And James Watson has spun from the lead of the 79s. I think had a little bit of contact with the barrier, but everything looks okay.
And now Luke Peterson and the LMP2 has come into the picture here. He's decided to just stay behind this battle for a moment to let it develop before making the pass. Smart move there by Preach. Oh, and Matt Burkhart with another problem down here in turn 1. Doesn't look like really any damage to the truck, though, which is good. Just a spin down here in turn 1.
Dalton Kilroe just tried to make a move on Will Kirk for 7th, but had to roll out of it.
This battle's been brewing for quite a while here. Kilroe has been kind of right at this spot behind Kirk for quite a while. And we've seen, even with the leaders, Lehman and Nickerson earlier on in the race, tough to find a place to pass here with that car.
Oh, Ty Marasco, I think he just made another save, but nearly looped it around through the boot. And he is the truck class leader.
Oh, and actually slapped the inside wall there, got loose and all the way down to the inside wall.
That happened. I just caught that out of my periph there as Kilroe and Kirk were battling. Happened right behind them.
And here's that incident for Watson. This is the same turn. We've seen 3 incidents right here in the same spot, I do believe. Lots of trouble down into turn 1 throughout the field.
The Lotus seems to have trouble through turn 1. The trucks seem to have the most trouble through the toe of the boot, but also generally everywhere. And the Super LMP2s seem to have the most trouble with traffic, which is everywhere.
Couple battles.
The lead. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Throughout the racetrack, Kilroe still trying to get around Will Kirk. And this battle between Brody Gunter and Jan Van Leer in the GT3 really hasn't subsided. JBL has done a great job of hanging on to Gunter here.
Just to point out, the lead up front has been cut in half, but it was cut from 11.5 seconds down to 6 seconds, and now has actually gone back up to 7.
James Lehman is cut into the gap up to first place a little bit. It was around 11 seconds and is now down to 7.5. But still quite a ways to go there. Of course, those two on a little bit differing pit strategies, so be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the race here.
Did come in 2 or 3 laps before James Lehman, I think.
Of course, if they could stay on the same lap when that caution comes out, that'll kind of reset things a little bit there. Dalton Kilroe and Will Kirk continue to battle pretty hard here. Kilroe may look to the inside. No, doesn't have the run.
Kilroe, the ASRL GT4 points leader for quite a few weeks here this past season.
Yeah, we saw him have some great battles there in that class.
Him and Jarrell Williams in particular put on a show pretty much every week until JJ Wang rolled.
Speaking
and then
of
that was... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Speaking of Jarrell Williams, he is into pit and will driver swap with teammate Alex Howland.
Yes, indeed.
In the black ice number 2.
And back to Dalton Kilroe, who is trying to get back up to Will Kirk now. Kilroe jumped out of the Sports Car Championship. I think, not sure the name of the series, but went and competed instead in a next gen league over on Green Flag TV, which will pick up the resuming ASRL Oval Championships, which will be run with the next gen car, starting on Sunday nights here, coming up soon.
Yeah, looking forward to being able to watch that. They have an interesting schedule developing at the moment, and I can assure you it is not one you'll want to miss. As here goes Will Kirk around.
Oh man!
And unfortunately, it takes quite a while to be able to regather the car there. I don't think made any maybe minimal contact with the wall.
Kanar has also gone for a spin, but I don't think he hit anything. Brian Deese with a very good pun in the driver chat. As Will Kirk went spinning there, Dalton Kilroy came over the radio and said, "No, Will." Brian Deese said, "No, L." Very good Christmas pun.
There's the incident for Oz. He is able to keep it off the wall there. And here's the incident for Will Kirk. Also able to keep it off the wall in his incident as well. So we'll lose quite a bit of time, and the tires will be hurting, but does not have to use a fast repair, which could be very valuable later on in the race.
In the Insert Coin Racing GT3, in comes Jan Van Leer, and out go, eventually, Michael Dean.
Yep, here's Dino in the 25, working his way out onto the racetrack. So pit stops coming for most of the GT3 class. I think only a couple are left, as Johnny Alford and Brian Deese are in as well.
And that was actually Ken Estep who had come in, and Johnny Alford will driver swap. And I'm just happy that Johnny Alford is here, because it did not sound like he was going to be here, but he made it. I'm very happy to see that. Johnny Alford, has a pretty good shot to take all of the money here tonight for the 0-0 challenge, because he had a lot of entries, by far the most out of anybody.
Oh, and James Watson again. That's like the same thing that's happened to him a couple of times here. Just hits the rumble strip wrong into the bus stop and has to go through the grass. Just has to slow down. He's done a good job of controlling the car. But tire's a little bit dirty, just has to kind of take it easy for a few turns and then can get back to it.
And we're still not even halfway through the fuel load for the Lotus 79. And like Osex Champ said in the chat, these tires don't really wear all that much. They are in their prime operating window. Actually, they're not even to their prime operating window yet. They're still pretty good. And Joshua Rutherford in the chat, the High Tide Racing League. Yes, I watched a bit of their race from, I think, Nashville Super Speedway the other night. Here comes Grant Turner. A bit off sequence after having to take a meatball flag, but he is in the fourth position in the Super LMP2. Fifth overall is James Watson, still hanging here just off of the podium. It should be pretty interesting when the top three come in for the Super LMP2, where James is going to cycle out to, because he, of course, will not be pitting at this point. Gabe Rogers, who I don't think we've mentioned all that much here tonight, but I think Gabe has been swapped out here for Dale Mickelson. So Dale will be making his first appearance on the channel here. That is in the GT3 class, the 333 machine. And I feel like most people that we've called out here tonight, called out their name anyway, they've either been battling for the lead or they've been getting obliterated. So, not necessarily a bad thing that we haven't called out somebody's name to this point here tonight. And something has happened to Will Kirk, because he doesn't seem to exist right now.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. Unfortunately, I think may have gotten disconnected. Hopefully be able to make it back pretty quick. Here comes Johnny Alford in the GT3 class, getting by Michael Dean. 2 drivers that were swapped in on that last pit stop here.
It's 2 more drivers, I would wager to guess, have not ever spent time on track together. But 2 drivers that have spent a lot of time on track here on the channel. It's always cool to see that. Another spin for James Watson, and again, I think he kept it out of the barriers, but it was again through the bus stop.
Kyle Zittel working not far behind James Watson. This would be for an overall position, but running fairly similar lap times, it seems. Watson got caught up a little bit by Palawota. Palawota, a bit of a moment there out of the final turn.
By the way, if you're curious, a total to this point of 237, now 238 incident points through the field. An hour and 3 minutes into this event.
Also an announcement, a huge donation from Garrett Rainey. $50 donation from the rain. Oh, and there's trouble. Watson is off.
Oh, no.
Kyle Zittel goes slow. I don't know if that was... I think it was a truck that was around, I thought. I'll have to take a look again.
Combs, but James Watson, I don't believe, has his left rear tire.
He does not. He's going to have to tow. Wow, that is huge.
Man. That sucks.
Oh, and Combs had to enter on the inside because he had a GT3 on the outside and just kind of missed the entry there, got loose. Watson tries to sneak through, but is not able to. And you could see when he made contact with the truck, the left rear just gets ripped right off.
It's a souvenir for a lucky fan.
Wow.
I mean, that's just the nature of the beast in this thing. It's impossible to hold that against anybody. I mean,
for sure, especially when we have trucks out there with these folks. Yeah, it's
we're running Lotus 79s, NASCAR trucks, and GT3s all together. These guys are here to race, of course, but
it was going to be very interesting to see where James Watson could have ended up in the overall race, but at this point, I think would be somewhat lucky to finish first in his own class. Ross has had some issues, but has not had to take a tow. Having to tow to the pits is a huge loss.
Harlow actually has had to take a tow. He has taken one quick repair and separately one tow, as he had a bunch of traffic onrushing one time and couldn't get turned around. So he took a tow. But Harlow has just passed James Watson. So Watson getting towed back to the pits right now, I believe, will turn over control of the car to J.J. Wang. It's just a matter of how quickly is this car going to get settled in its box.
Oh, by the way, I was going to mention this earlier. We are over an hour into the race now. An hour and 19 minutes left.
It's kind of flying by, to be honest with you.
It is, yeah.
You see 2.5 hours up on the board, and you're like, oh, that's a really long time.
Tis not.
It is not. Then you remember having to be in the car for 5 hours at Martinsville in an MX-5. You're like, yeah, 2.5 hours is nothing. I'll do that in my sleep. And sometimes I feel like I did.
Take a look at some of our truck drivers here. Haven't really seen too much of them other than some incidents from some of the drivers here. Nathan Palawoda, we mentioned, was leading the class early on in this one, has had a couple of different problems, now finds himself in third. A good margin behind both Roman and Marasco.
By the way, J.J. Wang has taken the wheel of the Lotus 79.
Looking forward to what J.J. has for us here.
Oh, Michael Dean is around at the exit of pit road.
Hopefully that does not affect
I think it will.
Exit for J.J. I hope he doesn't pick up a black flag from that.
Well, he didn't. I was going to say, if he did, I think that's... No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
If that's one I'd be willing to clear.
By the way, Ross Harlow is right in front of J.J. Wang now, but J.J. is now a lap down after having to tow to the pits. Well, Watson had to tow to the pits, J.J. now in the car. JJ needing to kind of adapt to the track and the track conditions here. Has been in the car for a while. Here come more pit stops for the LMP2s.
And this is Nick Nickerson starting the cycle once again. He had opened that lead back up to as big as it was when he undercut Lehman last time. So it was 11 seconds, got down to as little as 6, and then was back up to 11 there when Nick came back down pit road.
Dalton Kilrow and Kyle Zittel now looking to battle. Kilrow, we saw a big battle with Will Kirk before. Unfortunately, Will Kirk, I think, had some connection issues. But Kilrow has now caught up to Kyle Zittel. Calvin Levy will take over second, by the way. Haven't talked about Calvin much since he got in the car.
Calvin, another guy, another transplant from the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Had a lot of really solid runs here this season, but to your point, didn't get to call out his name a whole bunch this season. So it's good to see him running up front here in the top class here, the Super LMP2. You said it earlier. This is our first look here on the channel at the Super LMP2, or the Dallara P17 in particular. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That car looks like an absolute blast to drive.
I mean, look, they are the way they fly through the bus stop is just unbelievable. Seemingly undeterred from any bumps. I mean, almost completely off the ground at some points, and just keep on moving. No problem at all.
So waiting pit stops here from the majority of the top class. Just as I say that, here comes Kyle Zittel from 5th.
And the trucks, Marasco continues to lead the class here. As Luke
Pretty
Peterson or
comfortable lead.
LMP2 going by.
We've only have 2 full retirees from this race. Matt Burkhart has called it a night, and Will Kirk is yet to reappear, so his night might be over as well. So it leaves us 21 of the 23 teams / drivers still going at it here.
And again, want to mention, kind of got interrupted a little bit. Thank you very much to the Rain Man, Garrett Rainey, for the $50 donation. That is
Big
massive. Yeah, really appreciate that from the Rain Man. Also want to mention that we have a $25 donation that just went in from us at Turn 200.
Hey, there you go.
So if anybody else out there is maybe looking to donate, just click that link that's linked to the top of the chat, the live chat. I think it's in the description as well, maybe.
Yes, it is.
So if you can't find the link at the top of the live chat, you can also look at the description. As Zittel looking to get around GT3 here. A little bit of a close call. I believe that's Alex Howland for Black Ice. LMP2s have to show a lot of patience with some of the other classes that we have involved in the race here.
I don't know. Nick Nickerson has been just lighting up lap traffic here tonight. I mean, I don't even know if he knows what patience is, but he hasn't done anything dangerous. He's just made really concise, aggressive moves like that.
Yeah, as we mentioned, he just made one. He's tracking down Calvin Levy to get back to second in this class. Right now, as a truck,
he's on fresh tires.
Yeah, that's class leader in the trucks, Ty Marasco, that he just had to go around. Had to check up a little bit there. Patience is being exercised.
Oh, as Kennard just had a spin and tagged the barriers here at the toe. And James Lehman in from the lead. Oh, and I think Kennard, in that tagging of the barrier there, has picked up a meatball.
Oh, man. Lots of traffic right here as well. That's Nickerson going around Alex Howland now.
That slows him up a bit. Nick still trying to catch up to Calvin Levy, who is yet to pit. But Lehman ahead on pit road. Where is Nick Nickerson going to cycle out? I guess rather, how far ahead is he going to be? It was 11 seconds when Nick gave up the lead.
Here's a look at JJ Wang. Haven't watched him on track too much here as a couple of LMP2s going through. This is the race for the overall lead. That's Nickerson behind Calvin Levy at the moment.
Calvin Levy with the disadvantage on the old tires here. Oh, wow! Inches apart.
And Levy will have to come into pit at some point fairly soon as well.
15 seconds back to James Lehman, by the way.
On a bit of a different strategy. But not too much. Definitely on a different strategy than Nickerson here. Nickerson has opted to short pit, play the undercut on both of the pit stops here. Hey, Tommy.
Uh-oh.
It's time.
You're calling it?
Garrett Rady read my mind. This is it.
All right, I'm going to punch the button.
To fly.
All right, here we go.
I had my mind that it was going to wait till we hit the hour, but we're going to go ahead and hit it right now. Give these drivers about an hour of green flag racing to end this one. So should be another pit stop for the LMP2s.
This is the one and only caution. And whatever it's set to here in terms of lucky dogs or wave arounds or whatever, that's what's going on. Nothing else. So the only full course yellow is out.
This is gonna be crazy.
Oh boy.
I am very excited for this. Not only to see the restart, but just to see how the drivers are going to cycle out for who's on lead laps and whatnot here. Also interested to see if... I know there's a couple of LMP2 drivers that still need to come down pit road this time. Curious to see if the drivers that just came in a few laps ago are going to come in as well. Looks like maybe not. Nickerson goes through. Calvin Levy is down pit road. Assume Dalton Kilrow will be down pit road this time as well. Maybe not. Might have another opportunity to do it. That's the LMP2 class. Here in the Lotus 79 class, I believe will be a lap down from the LMP2s. Wow, and there's another $50 donation. This one is from an anonymous source. So wow, that's
Holy cow.
another big one. Really, really appreciate it. Whoever you are out there, you know who you are. Thank you very much.
Crazy.
Couple of big donos for Toys for Tots here. And maybe more still to come. Tommy, do you know how many laps we have left here on the for the
On the caution,
before we go green?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well,
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, though. Lights are still on the pace car.
yep. Looks like we got a bunch of drivers coming down pit road. So, what do you say we go ahead and spin the wheel for the 0-0 challenge?
I say that's a great idea.
For the American Sports Car or American Sim Racing League. Sorry about that. Their sports car championship season just concluded.
And then these first two spins will be worth $12 each. Those will be the runner-up prizes. And the top prize is worth $24. And again, this is not coming out of the donation money. This was set aside by MF Racing Designs and their sponsorship of the ASRL Sports Car Championship. So this did not come out of donation money. This is a separate thing. We're just doing it today. Just to be clear.
And the first winner, this will be for $12, is, and you mentioned he had a lot of opportunities here tonight, it is Johnny Alford, and this is from the Jerez Dash Race.
All right.
So Johnny Alford, that's $12 coming Johnny Alford's way, courtesy of MF Racing Designs. We'll go ahead and remove his name
For that one.
Yes, still has more chances. And this will be for the second $12 winner, and that is Brody Gunter, and that is from the New Jersey night race. This is from the dash race as well. So those are two $12 prizes, courtesy of MF Racing Designs. And now the big one, the $24 prize. Let's see who it will be.
I think I've got the drum roll.
And it is Josh Heggie. And that is also from the New Jersey night race, but race number 2, which is a very impressive to have gotten a 0-0 entry from that race. There were a lot of incidents. So congratulations to our winners here tonight, and thank you again to MF Racing Designs for sponsoring the 0-0 challenge in the ASRL this season. If you are looking for any liveries, paint design ideas, or need some help, go to MF Racing Designs. They can help you out.
I'd say let's check in on Grant Turner here on the car inside cam. He says he has a surprise for the broadcast. Hopefully it's a good one.
It's going to be good. All right, Grant, you are on, my friend.
Maybe this isn't what he wanted. I don't know. I'm just hoping he's fully clothed. That's all. But the lights are off on the pace car here, so we should be coming to green this time.
Maybe his surprise is just absolutely barreling down into turn number 1. How about that?
We'll find out. Here we go. Back in our way. GT3 in front of the battle here for the top spot. Lehman leading Nickerson. And Josh Hagee back in the 099.
Grant Turner hard at work. Wow, look at this battle for the lead. Lehman and Nickerson going at it again.
This field is all sorts of all over each other into the bus stop.
Oh no, there's an incident!
Oh boy! Peyton and Kilrow get a piece of it. Paluota as well. Josh Hagee.
My goodness.
We've got the two Lotus battling for the lead. JJ was bump drafting Dave Payton all but into the boot. That was hilarious.
I am all sort of messed up here. Big battle here in the GT3 class. This is Brian Dees. Actually, I take that. I take it back. There's too much happening right here. I can't figure out who's on the lead lap and who isn't. I can tell you this: these Lotus 79 drivers, they are battling for position.
Position.
Are fighting for every inch on this racetrack with lap traffic here in the GT3 class.
Oh, Harlow, not a whole lot of room. 10 with underneath Gunter. And Dalton Kilrow trying to pick his way through now as well. After getting tangled up. And the truck lead right now belongs to Ty Marasco. But Steve Roman and Nathan Paluota not too far behind.
Wow, and there's an LMP2 fighting through traffic. Going past Ross Harlow. You mentioned this battle in the truck class. It's a much different test with these big, heavy trucks than it is for most of the rest of the field.
Yes.
I should say all of the rest of the field, I suppose. Oh, Roman goes pretty wide there on entry to the boot. Paluota has pulled right up behind now in the tow. And Wang and Harlow continue to battle very closely here in the Lotus 79 class. I've gotten word that Turner is now ready again for the big reveal, and oh, we've got pedal cams.
Whoa. We can watch the footwork in action. Turner in fourth. First time we've ever seen pedal cams on the channel, I think.
I believe it is, and we pair it with an in-car camera of the cockpit cam. You get the wheel input with the pedals. You see some heel toe action there.
Absolutely lovely.
Very cool. Love that. We're going to go ahead and go back to this fight for the only Lotus 79 position, which is P1. Or I guess there's two positions, but you know what I meant.
Yes.
Oh, and Wang is wide. There goes Harlow through to P1.
And this is Luke Peterson in the mix here.
This is also for position in the overall.
Yes, it is.
JJ Wang might be able to get some help with a draft down these straights with Luke Peterson in front. That could be interesting.
JJ, I think, is somebody who it is very possible we could see him win his first Daredevil Series race this season. Of course, only raced just a couple of Daredevil Series races last season. But ran really strong. Raced his way into the All-Star race at Gateway. I think JJ could be a contender to take one here. Just excited in general to get back onto that grind, no matter what.
By the way, in the trucks, as we were watching the Lotus 79s, Nathan Palawoda has gotten around Steve Roman.
And these two have fallen about a second behind Ty Marasco.
And there was some contact between them as well. Just a little bit of door contact there as Palawoda went up the inside.
So, some separation here in every class. For the lead, anyway. As Lehman leading Nickerson by about a second. Harlow over Wang by about 0.4 of a second. That gap is closing. Brody Gunser with a 4-second lead over Brian Deese. And a 1-second lead for Marasco over Palawoda.
Ross and JJ continuing to fight. JJ looking up the inside into the bus stop. Not quite able to get the run there. This is going to be a dogfight to the finish.
I sure hope so.
And I don't believe they have to come down pit road.
No.
So,
unless something goes wrong.
They can really go. Yes, that is true.
Nick Nickerson slowly but surely regaining lost ground here on James Lehman. Was a second and a half. Now back under a second. I mean, Nickerson last time around only about 0.4 of a second off of the purple lap of the race that he set. Whoa! But some traffic to navigate through here. They've caught the leaders of the Truck Series.
Oh boy! Oh
wow!
No! Big
Huge
lockup
lockup
there. That was a scary moment for Nickerson, and Lehman has to go dip into the grass to get around class leader in the trucks, Ty Marasco.
So Lehman with some problems. Nickerson with bigger problems. I'd say that came out about net even, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
The big winner there might have been Josh Hagee, who didn't seem to have any problems getting through any of that.
Well, he's up to under 2 seconds behind Nickerson at this point. But then has a problem with some traffic there.
Ross Hardlow just had a problem as well. He took a trip through the grass, down the straight before you enter the boot, so I guess around the carousel. I don't think he hit anything, but has lost a ton of time here to JJ Wang.
Well, Wang was able to get through on Ross. JJ was behind. Able to get that pass done. Got a great run out of the S's and got the pass bait into the bus stop, which is right after where Ross had the issue.
So I would imagine the Super LMP2s here are going to have one more pit stop.
Yes. Yeah, they came down to pit around, I believe it was around 40 minutes into the race. So, yeah, should have to come down pit road with 15 to 20 minutes left, if I had to guess.
And the undercut proved to be powerful the first time around. So as much as these guys are wheeling and dealing on the track, going to have to do as much work in the mental department here as the minutes and seconds continue to tick away.
Wow, this battle in the Lotus 79s is not disappointing. Ross is caught right back up to JJ here in a couple parts of the racetrack.
Oh no! Kyle Zittel, meatball.
Wow. We'll have to take a look at the replay. Oh, JJ gets caught up a little bit behind the trucks. Ross has to make an evasive maneuver as well.
And not too far in front of these two, the battle for the truck lead is heating up as well as Palawota's trying to find his way around. The battles for the lead converge.
Peterson in an LMP2 is right here as well. Wow! Threads the needle.
We need to do this every year. This is a blast.
Absolute
blast.
This is awesome. Here's the battle in the trucks. It's Palawota chasing down Ty Marasco. We really haven't been inside the cockpit of a truck yet here tonight. It looks much and feels much different here. Now, obviously, you can see the pace is not quite as high and fast as it is for the rest of the drivers here tonight. Setup looking awfully squirrely here as well. You can see Palawota Marasco really struggling through the S's.
Nickerson has lost 2 seconds to James Lehman as, boy, Nathan Palawota got all sorts of out of shape there out of the bus stop.
Yeah, we're still in the cockpit. Massive wheel movement there from Palawota. This thing just looks so unstable. I can't imagine trying to make a pass with this setup. It's got to be difficult.
Palawota, a podium finisher in the Venom Truck Series, here at the boot layout of Watkins Glen a few races ago. And of course, a 2-time winner here this season is JJ Wang. Just had a problem through the heel, and now Ross Harlow is taking the lead back from the Lotus 79s. But they stay nose to tail here. And the Venom Truck Series, by the way, rolls into Dover on Tuesday for their final race before the holiday break and before the All-Star break.
Wow, I must have missed something here. Ross has gotten back around JJ.
Did I not just say that?
Did you? You may have.
Yes, like 30 seconds ago.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
That's all right.
I mean, fair enough. It is a 2-hour broadcast here. Oh, no, JJ! Oh! No, he got quite a bit of the barrier there. Hopefully it's all right. No meatball flag, but I don't know. It's an open wheel car. It can be pretty finicky.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not much contact there with the wall. Definitely enough to bounce him right off of it back onto the racetrack.
And, we did see, since they've updated the new damage model with this past update here about a week ago. So we saw our first ripped-off wheel in channel history for the Lotus 79. Unfortunately, it came at the expense of James Watson.
Palawota looks around the outside of Marasco. Has a good run here off the toe.
James
look at-
Lehman has been hung up in lap traffic, and Nick Nickerson is right back here as well.
Wow. Palawoda able to outbrake Ty Marasco. You saw the weight shift from the back of the truck all the way to the front, that front splitter all the way down to the ground when they hit the brakes.
Oh, JJ Wang, more problems. Off into the grass again. Just about the same spot as it happened last lap.
Massive shout out to Dale Mickelson as well, who has donated $25. Is also on the racetrack at the moment. So
Yes, he is.
wow, battle still going on here in the truck class. Marasco has and Palawoda's through the grass.
Will have a slowdown to clear. Has the lead for now, but has to be tactical about how he goes about the time penalty. As nearly contact there in the quarter
there is
panel.
contact.
Oh my!
No issues up. Both of them do a complete stop here in the middle of the racetrack.
Here's Froman! Froman piles into Palawoda! And this is the battle for the outright lead, sneaking past as well. They're side by side. Goodness gracious!
Unbelievable.
I mean, certainly Marasco gets the worst of that exchange, but how about Steve Froman, third to first in one turn?
And now here comes Nickerson looking to the inside on Lehman.
Lehman will have the preferred positioning, but can he hold it here? Here's the crossover attempt. Nickerson with a run. Will it be enough?
Don't look now, folks. Josh Hagee is right behind these two as they continue to battle as well.
Battling all over the track.
Things are getting spicy with only 41 minutes to go here.
Spicy indeed. There's Nickerson looking for the lead.
Has the preferred position through the S's here. Lehman still hanging pretty tough. And now here's Josh Hagee.
3-car scrap for the overall lead.
Wow, Lehman sends it.
They all sent it.
That's a tough spot to be on the outside entering the bus stop there. Isn't able to-
Nickerson. Oh, Lehman. Doors back open and shut.
What a battle here. And it's a three-headed monster.
By the way, out of that truck exchange there, no meatballs. Vroman has held on to the lead, has put 9/10 back to Palawoda, who has cleared Ty Marasco by 5 seconds. I'm sure Marasco probably not too happy with what went down there.
Wow, they were both leaning on each other pretty heavily there.
Yes, they were. Absolutely.
Boy, did the full course yellow bring out everything we hoped it would. In the cockpit with Josh Hagee right now as he continues to run behind both Lehman and Nickerson. P3 overall and in the LMP2 class here.
Whew. All right. Heart rate's back down. We're good.
Able to take a bit of a breath.
A little bit. Just a bit. Ty Marasco will hit pit road here.
Yeah, Marasco's down pit road. Patrick Combs down pit road as well. It's Steve
again,
Roman's opened up a 2-second advantage over Palawota.
And no meatball flag for Marasco. 5 seconds up to Palawota when he came down pit road. So maybe this is a strategy play. Maybe going to come and take a fast repair here and push hard and clean air. Or as clean of air as you're going to get in a situation like this.
Yeah, leader in the truck, Steve Roman. He has some traffic working around him right now.
Oh boy. Nickerson got awfully close there to the wall if he didn't touch it through the final turn. Hagee as well. And these guys are pushing hard still.
Pushing hard and still with one pit stop left. Might be a bit of a different strategy on this pit stop. Maybe looking at a halfway point in the fuel run to come in rather than running it all the way out. We'll have to see how that works. We know that the tires on these cars are wearing quite considerably through a full fuel run. So it might be a good option to come in more like halfway through the run rather than run them out close to the end.
So
And
from low to 70... Oh, go ahead.
Might be a bit of an advantage for Lehman, who can come down and undercut Nickerson. We've seen the undercut work. And
Yes,
if
we
he can
have.
undercut, Nickerson doesn't know it's coming. Might be able to pull out in front without having to make a pass on the track.
It's what got the lead for Nickerson back after he had just lost it to Lehman. Coming to the first green flag pit cycle is, Johnny Alford has gone around. Not exactly sure where that is on the track. It's the bus stop.
All right, Tommy, it's time. We got to take a look at this replay.
I think so, before it gets too buried here.
Well, here's this is Marasco looking to make this pass on the inside of Palawota. Oh, Palawota gets loose on entry. When he goes to turn left, the rear end of the truck kicks around and gets him into the right rear of the number one. And then Palawota tries to see an opening for the inside late in the apex. Marasco tries to shut it down, but Palawota continues. Marasco ends up going sideways across the racetrack. Palawota has to come to a complete stop here. And then Steve Roman piles into Palawota. There's the LMP2 leaders that were coming around. I can't believe they didn't get involved in it. That could have been a 5 or 6 car pileup. And it wasn't miraculously. I don't know how.
They were involved in it, whether they thought they were or not.
Well, there was no contact.
No. They were just, they were witnesses.
That's one for the highlight reel, though, right there.
That certainly is something. Speaking of the trucks, Palawota's cut the gap to Steve Roman down to a truck length.
Speaking of the LMP2 leaders, James Lehman's caught right up to Nickerson.
And it all begins again. Here's Lehman with a dive.
Oh,
Side!
no!
More! Oh my gosh! That's Alex Halland, who has narrowly avoided disaster.
I don't know how. These two have been unbelievable tonight.
Nickerson has magic wreck avoidance powers, I think. As I think J.J. Wang has just crashed. He has a meatball flag. Here's a move for James Lehman into the bus stop. Again, they just sail it over the rumble strips there.
Yeah, that's such a tough move to make.
Grant Turner is in from the 5th overall position. So this is an early pit stop here for the LMP2s. We're approaching what could be the final pit stops here within the next few laps for the top class.
Oh no, Nathan Palawota is around. He was trying to make the move on Steve Roman on the inside here.
And this is the LMP2s working through. Oh no!
Contact!
Nickerson into Roman!
And Nickerson has a meatball flag. You see the right front tire. He's
That's
not able to
torqued.
turn this car.
Well, he's going to trigger the undercut whether he wanted to pit now or not. Can he get it slowed down? No.
Wow. What a massive moment there.
And it had gone so well all night for Nick Nickerson, and now it is over. And Nathan Palawota back to the lead in the trucks. Goodness gracious.
This has been a sight. Sight to behold. Here's the incident. Roman trying to continue while staying out of the way. Nickerson goes to make the move on the outside here. Roman thinks he's going to go to the inside and tries to move to the outside, and wow, that was just a big moment.
Definitely a big moment.
So Nathan Palawota up to first now in the trucks after that incident for Roman. Ty Marasco had so much of a problem, and he hasn't gotten to go around Roman yet, still about 30 seconds behind.
But I would imagine the trucks in a similar position will need to pit again. And Marasco's done that. So he could be sitting pretty here. Dalton Kilrow is going to hit pit road from third overall.
And this is kind of where we talked about making that pit stop for the LMP2 about halfway through what's left of the race. I think that's a smart move here from Kilrow.
And Steve Roman in this time as well.
Yeah, Roman had quite a bit of damage to the truck. We'll hopefully take a fast repair here.
He had damage before that.
Yes, he's had damage, but hopefully be getting that taken care of. Darrell Williams back in the car, taking over for Alex Howland here in the Black Ice number 2.
I mean, Alex Howland, for all of his bad luck this season in the ASRL, he narrowly escaped death there with Nickerson and Lehman right behind him.
6 Champ says, big multi-class moment.
Yes.
That's about the only way to describe it, and that's why we love it. Tommy's starting to get down to the nitty-gritty here. Only 30 minutes left of this 2.4 mile or hour race.
Let's say if this is a 2.4 mile race. It's over a long time ago. These guys are just going the extra mile. Thank you.
I ruined my own joke there, unfortunately. It was supposed to be a good one, but
I appreciate it.
I digress. Can't win them all.
No, you certainly can't.
Also, while we have everybody here, this is not the only charity race that we will have in the next 30 days.
Yes, indeed.
We have another coming up, the Daytona Charity Shootout. I believe is going to be ran on, is it January 13th?
It is now January 13th. Yes, we had previously announced it as January 6th. It is now January 13th. For sure. Lock it down. And I still keep forgetting to ask about open qualifiers, but should we have them, and I think we should, it will be on January 12th, which is a Friday.
And if you don't know about the Daytona Charity Shootout, you can check it out from last year as well.
Yes, indeed.
You might see some names you want to be involved with. I'll just put it that way.
For sure.
It's an invitational, but like Tommy said, just like last year, we're thinking that we will have an open qualifier, a few open qualifier races to get your name into the running and race your way into the Daytona Charity Shootout with some of the bigger names in motorsports.
It is not often that I'm right, but I like to point out when I am right. Ty Marasco, through the pit cycle here for the trucks, has retaken the lead. 7.5 seconds back to Paluoda, but with Steve Roman right behind,
Oh,
and now
Just as you
Marasco
said it,
Marasco with
unbelievable.
problems. I was gonna say much fresher tires on Paluoda and Vroman, but now they have a lot less ground to make up.
Wow, he's really having issues as well.
Yes.
The rear of this truck is dancing all over the place for Marasco.
Paluoda looms in the rearview mirror here. Truck number 1.
Oh, and he's having big problems now, way wide here through that turn.
Trying to get the rear temperature cooled down, the rear tire temperature, that is. And this is some of the worst turns on the track to do that.
Steve Roman and Paluoda are going to have a battle between themselves here before too long, most likely.
So what was just a 7-second lead is now a 3.5-second lead. It's all James Lehman up front.
This is a great blimp camera view of Watkins Glen.
Beautiful. Great facility. Lovely in real life. If you ever get the chance, you absolutely have to go. It's probably second on my favorite tracks list that I've visited. And you know what's number 1.
I would assume it's the facility you and I have been to together.
Yes. The Chili Bowl.
Oh,
No.
I have not been to the Chili Bowl.
No, I haven't
Unfortunately.
either. No, of course Talladega is number 1, but Watkins Glen, great facility. Very close second.
And I'll do it live. I regret to inform you I will not be able to go to Talladega Fall Races next year.
You just did it live because you knew what my reaction would be if you did it off air.
I have
Save yourself some trouble.
I have a dear friend that's getting married that weekend in Colorado, so there's definitely no getting to Talladega for that race, unfortunately.
There's no excuse. Except for the fact that I didn't go last year.
And
I
of course,
think-
Garrett Rainey's going to agree.
A bit of bias, yes, but, you know, when you're right, you're right. Whoa, Ty Marasco just had to make a save into the S's. And again, yielding time.
This truck battle is going to be a three-way battle once
Oh.
again before we know it here. That's Ross Harlow going through on Steve Roman, now working on Paluoda.
Wow, Marasco is ice skating. I mean, he just looks to be on the edge of control here.
Well, I'm sure the... Oh, my. These drivers all now about equidistant from each other. Back to Palawoda and then back to Steve Roman.
And I mean, Marasco's hand got forced with coming down pit road after losing the lead in a rather spectacular fashion. And so did Steve Romans. And Palawoda was able to answer to both of them. But they all still find their way back together once again. We'll have to see if this is sustained or not, but Josh Hagee has been closing in on James Lehman, but still about 2.5 seconds apart.
Lehman's yielded a lot of time here just in the last few laps.
Yes, he has.
Hagee continues to make up ground. My timing and scoring shows 1.8 seconds is the gap now. Another 0.7 of a second. From one lap to another. Oh, there's a bit of a hiccup for Lehman. Oh, and Hagee's had some issue with some lap traffic now. I believe that's Kyle Zittel. So this gap is going to be right back to where it was. Oh, maybe pit stop's coming. It is. Here's the undercut from Hagee.
This could be huge.
We'll have to see how that one will play out. Back
for
to the
trucks here. Palawoda had cut it down to about 2 truck lengths, but dropped a wheel off into the grass, so yielded some time back. But he and Marasco are just pushing these trucks to their limits. Calvin Levy is swapped into the 099, so Hagee relieved for the rest of the race. Is Dalton Kilrow working through the truck traffic here? Went a lot better this time than it did last time for the truck leaders when the LMP2s approached.
And now a GT3 going through. I believe that's Brody Gunter.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy, here we go. Palawoda's right here now. It's interesting seeing the speeds of the trucks even out with Gunter there for a moment. Obviously, Gunter much faster through the corners.
And Gunter, to point out, has been down pit road. I don't think Brian Deese has. Oh, boy.
Here's Lehman down pit road. So, overall leader now down pit road. We'll see if the undercut is able to work.
Trucks nose to tail, top 3.
Woo, boy.
This is awesome.
And now here comes JJ Wang. He's going to try to make a couple of moves here.
He's trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
Gets through clean. Battle resumes between Palawoda and Marasco. Steve Roman waiting for these two to get together again.
Oh. Palawoda clean roll through here. Oh, Ross Harlow is spun. Oh, Kyle Zittel is spun behind Harlow.
Oh, there's a little bit of a bump. Palawoda trying to move Marasco out of the way. A little bump and run action. It wasn't able to work.
These two have gotten the bumpers out. They've gotten their elbows out multiple times.
under 20 minutes to go. We are in the final stages.
By the way, undercut for the 099 does not to have appeared to have worked.
Yeah, in fact, it's a pretty big gap out to Lehman now.
Yes.
Paluoto looking to set this up. A bit of a slide here from
They're all
Marasco.
sliding.
Oh, this could get ugly. We'll see. Wow! Paluoto through the grass at the bus stop.
Marasco looking to take the positioning back. Right on the bumper of Nathan Paluoto, where it all went south.
Oh, no!
My!
Paluoto gets cleaned out. Steve Roman does it again. He waited for those two to get together and has taken the lead. They're still bumping and banging. Now a GT3 trying to get in on the action. Oh, Marasco awful loose. I think it's all a product of this loose truck for Marasco. Just cannot control it. This has been the greatest 2.4-hour race of all time.
If there ever was one. Okay.
I don't even want to know what the radio's been like.
Interesting.
I think there might be some virtual fists thrown after this one.
Well, we'll be streaming Mike Tyson's Punch-Out after this. Throw him into the lead. Oh, boy.
Hot dog. That's one hot and spicy dog right there.
Certainly. Certainly a blend of earth spices on that one. Well, Roman's got a 2-second lead and some change. 16 minutes to go. Could all change multiple times through. JJ Wang for a bit of a spin around the final turn. But back going again. So Ross Harlow with a pretty comfortable lead over JJ Wang. I think it's suffice to say, I think it's over a lap. Lehman with the overall lead. That advantage has continued to grow. Still waiting to see how the GT3 battle is going to go here. Brian Deese currently has the top spot. But I'm not sure where the pit strategies lie at this current moment.
Well, Brody Gunter came into pit 20 laps after Brian Deese. I don't think Deese actually came in on the caution period.
Interesting.
So Gunter came into pit when the full course yellow was thrown. Deese did not, from what I can estimate anyways.
Now, Gunter is lapping quite a bit quicker than Deese here, to your point.
We're in the final stretch, ladies and gentlemen. It has been unbelievable action here on the track. Thank you to everybody that's donated so far. If you're still out there and would like to donate, please get them in as soon as you can. We'd love to shout out your name before the stream ends. By the way, that link will be open for, I believe, the next 2 days. If anybody would like to come in afterwards or sees this after the race has concluded. and is watching in the couple days afterwards, you can still donate here for a couple days after this one's done.
516 total incident points. The top incident pointer right now is Nathan Palawota with 52x.
I think about 20 of those have come from the 2 incidents we've seen.
I think so, yes. Palawota did mention something about paying an extra bonus at the end of the race depending on how many spins he had. I think he has officially had 2 spins this race, maybe 3. So I'm not too sure if that is still on or not. I don't want to pressure him into it, but he's got his hands full here regardless. But is making up time on Steve Roman. Yes, to Pat Combs' point in the chat, which first of all, thank you very much for racing. Greatly appreciated. Yes, this truck, for whatever reason, was a massive handful. I'm just not going to speak on the setups at this moment in time because I have nothing nice to say. But it's not Corey Rutherford's fault, I can tell you that much. Because these are all baseline setups.
Yeah,
anyway.
we've seen all of the trucks in that class have just been all over the place, slipping and sliding, have had a whale of a time trying to control them. So, yeah, it's definitely the setup very tough tonight. But, Pat, thank you very much for participating. We really appreciate it.
Yep, but I will move on from that point without any further comment. But, yes, thank you very much to Pat Combs for racing here tonight. And thank you to all the drivers as well, whether tapped out already or not. This is obviously a bit of a meme. Hopefully everybody's had fun here tonight. That's the secondary point of all this. Of course, the top point is charity. Racing comes second. Or fun comes second. Racing comes third. How about that? Is that a fair hierarchy?
I like it. Speaking of the trucks, by the way, Nathan Palawota, he's back in the picture for the lead in the class. He's caught up just a couple truck lengths behind Steve Roman. This battle ought to be good. These drivers familiar with each other.
And also to point out, something I'll keep my eye on here as the race rolls along, the lead for the GT3s has been cut in half in the last 3 laps. Brian Deese now with a 6-second advantage over Gunter. Gunter is advancing quickly, which is good because time is running out.
Yeah, that's going to come to a head with only maybe a couple minutes left, most likely. So, yeah, Gunter really needs to keep the foot on the pedal, as we know he will.
And so does Steve Roman, catching a bit of a break here as the GT3 rolls through. Then again, maybe Todd says, "Oh boy."
And that's Michael Dean in the ICR 25 going through.
Maybe going through. He's still side by side here with Roman.
Woo, man.
And JJ Wang in the mix here as well. Surprise Lotus 79 out of nowhere.
And after all of that, it's about net even between Roman and Palawota heading into the boot.
Nothing lost. Gap is stabilized at 12 seconds up front for Lehman over Levy.
By the way, thank you to anybody that subscribed to the channel here tonight. We've had about 6 or so new subscribers here today. And very, very much appreciate that. I believe Pat was probably the last one hopping in the chat here, so thank you, Pat. And anybody else that subscribed here tonight. We are only 5 away from 500 now, Tommy.
That is incredible.
That's been a big goal of ours since we started the channel. That was pretty much our first big goal that we set out to hit. And after
knocking on the door.
Not quite a year and a half. We're right here.
And to your point in the chat, Mr. 06 Champ, first of all, thank you for the offer. Second of all, you shouldn't have to. And again, I will now remove myself from any further comment.
Check out Garrett and Rainey's message if anybody's wondering. That's all we'll say. Well, Vroman's done a good job of keeping Palo Alto at bay here for now. Another battle on the track right now is in the LMP2 class. Dalton Kilrow trying to track down Grant Turner. And Brody Gunter continues to make up lots of time. It's actually closed up quicker than we thought it would here in just a couple of minutes. He's gained about 4 seconds on Brian Deese.
Yeah, Gunter's got lightning pace right now. I'm sure Deese, with some worn-out rubber on that car, 8.5 minutes to try and hold on, but may not be holding on to the lead much longer if Brody Gunter has his way. Vroman went wide into the toe, and Palo Alto's pulled back in within a truck length. This is really a part of the track where the trucks struggle. Part of the track that, to be fair, the setup is not designed for. But they struggle nonetheless. Vroman able to maintain an advantage, as I believe Jarrell Williams is pulling up behind this duo.
And there's Jarrell. He's going to pull to the inside of Vroman.
Big send.
And these two still have stayed about even one lap later. Brody Gunter is on the way, about to deliver a present to Brian Deese.
It's a lump of coal.
And it's a sign that says, "See ya."
Well, we'll see if Deese has been saving anything. Seems all but inevitable that this battle was going to happen. We'll see if the race leaders got anything for Gunter.
I will say, it is difficult to pass, especially when you have LMP2 traffic coming through. My goodness. And here comes Harlow as well. Has to check up quite a bit. And there goes Brody Gunter.
And if the deck wasn't stacked before that, Brody Gunter, through circumstance alone, takes the lead. Uh-oh. You see that?
I'm looking right now.
Whoa! There it is!
Wow.
Holy cow.
We've made it unbelievable.
Oh, Michael Dean has crashed, unfortunately, but we have hit 500 subscribers. Wow. Thank you to whatever help you just enlisted there, Mr. Garrett Rainey. It is beyond appreciated.
Wow, I guess we're going to have to do another 2.4-hour race in celebration.
We're doing it right after this one, right?
Run it back, Turbo.
Invert, full field invert. Let's run it back. No, I think we're doing the Slinger 24 after this.
Oh, here's this battle for position between Turner and Kilrow has heated up. Kilrow has finally pulled in Grant Turner.
5 minutes to go. Oh, Nathan Palo Alto, big time struggles there through the bus stop, and Vroman has left him in the dust. And there goes Kilrow through that battle. And Turner as well. That was implied.
Thank you again to Garrett Rainey. He's donated $50 here on the stream and enlisted some help to get us to 500 subs. And anybody else that subscribed tonight and all of our subscribers, cannot thank you all enough.
Yes, thank you to Virox in the chat. Hello. As Ross Harlow just had a spin.
And that is Pat Combs, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Good point. I was like, that name sounded really familiar. It's Pat Combs, who is still hanging out with us.
Woo, boy, lots of traffic here. Wait a minute. Brian Deese has gotten back around Brody Gunter. Gunter
Yes,
trying to get through again.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my.
This is Paluota.
Right here.
So Gunter back ahead now.
I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, I totally missed that. But good job to Deese, and then good job again to Gunter.
Let's see. Oh, and I believe it's issue with... Oh, a truck got in the way of Gunter on entry into the bus stop. It was Ty Marasco who pulled to the outside to try to help, but Gunter was on the outside as Deese had gotten a bit of a run up the inside on the S's. Just an odd circumstance to find themselves in. And a half a lap later, Gunter able to get around again. The battle between Turner and Kilrow stayed the same. Kilrow about a second behind Turner still. Paluota's Steve Roman's about a second as well.
It's all James Lehman up front. Something is going to have to go horribly wrong for Lehman to lose this one.
Man, it is crazy watching these trucks try to get around this track. About every corner, you see one laterally move right out to the wall just because there's no lateral grip. Oh, and Brian Deese...
He's pitting.
Is down pit road. Maybe a little bit of a fuel miscalc. Was going to try to make it to the end. We mentioned I don't believe he came down pit road during the caution period and was, I mean, almost there. Only a minute and a half left.
So
Likely
James,
just a couple laps, wasn't able to make it.
James Lehman will be coming to the white flag this time.
Going back to that truck battle. They are just going into the bus stop, so they'll have about a lap and a half to settle it between them.
If you're curious, this truck battle is 14 laps behind James Lehman. 14 more circuits.
And it's starting to heat up. Paluota's closed in to about a truck length gap here to Vroman.
Vroman has looked pretty loosey-goosey here. And Paluota has not been afraid to make a little loosey-goosey, a lot loosey-goosey here.
Battle between Turner and Levy now for second overall and in the LMP2 class. But we'll stick with this battle in the trucks. This is for the class win right here.
They will have another lap to go. As not too far behind them is James Lehman.
Oh, and Turner and Levy were side by side there for a moment. Still are. Oh, big lock up there for Turner.
Vroman has gotten loose. Paluota is going to dive it to the inside in the final turn. Paluota back to the lead.
And one more lap to settle it between the trucks.
One more lap for them. But for James Lehman, zeros on the clock. He rounds the final turn. And with his first win on turn 200, it comes at the 2.4 Hours at the Glen. The multi-class bash at Watkins Glen goes to James Lehman.
Wow, and we missed it. Steve Roman got back around Palo. Oh, my goodness. We're going to have to go back and look at this.
Well, it's not over yet. They've still got half a lap to go.
And GT3 traffic involved as well.
Ross Harlow is going to win the Lotus 79s as the battling continues.
Palo Alto's been really good through the boot section, but really loose through this carousel there.
This is not where you want to be uneasy, under braking. Into the boot.
Will we see a big send from Palo Alto? I'm counting on it, but he has to be within striking distance. Lost a lot of time there. Through the toe. Oh, Roman really loose there.
It might be to his benefit. Brody Gunter wins the GT3s. This is the final battle. Vroman and Palo Alto. Palo Alto looking to send it.
He does. There's the bumper.
Vroman hangs on. Are you kidding me? What a save. And what a win for Steve Vroman.
Wow. Okay, he took that massive shot and said, "Nuh-uh, not today, partner." Look at this. Here's overall winner James Lehman. There's Ross Harlow, the winner of the L79 class. Rocking that car inside camera for us here tonight. He's having some fun out there with these drivers. Here's Brody Gunter, who's stopped out on the racetrack, posing for us here. Winner of the GT3 class. And there's Steve Roman looking right down the barrel of Brody Gunter. Wow. What a race these drivers put on for us tonight. That was pretty spectacular.
Absolutely. And let's get to the full finishing rundown here, because we are not able to drag the drivers to Discord like we normally would be. So we gotta call each of them up one by one here over the race radio. But full finishing rundown here. Should we go overall or by class? Let's go by class, I suppose.
Okay.
So we'll go first with the Dallara P217, the LMP2 class. Goes to James Lehman. Lehman with the win. It's his first win on turn 200. Congratulations to him. Calvin Levy in second. Also Josh Hagee in that car. Grant Turner in third. Dalton Kilroe in fourth. And then Kyle Zittel in spot number 5. With Luke Peterson in 6. Oh, man. Nick Nickerson down in 7th. I mean, put on a show here tonight. And then Will Kirk down in the 8th position. Over to the Lotus 79 class. It was won by Ross Harlow. And JJ Wang / James Watson will finish in second. To the GT3s we go. Brody Gunter with the win. Brian Deese in second. Alex Howland / Jarrell Williams in third. Then it was the joint effort between Kenny Stepp and Johnny Alford, I do believe, in fourth. Then it is insert coins efforts of Michael Dean and Jan Van Leer in 5th, Dave Payton in 6th, and our duo here in the triple 3 machine, Gabe Rogers and Dale Mickelson. To now the trucks, and of course it was won by Steve Roman with Nathan Palawoda in 2nd, Ty Marasco in 3rd, Oz Kadar in 4th, Patrick Combs in 5th, and Matt Burkhart in 6th. James, I'm going to have you step out for just a second as I'm going to see if I can get Steve Roman up here, if that's okay.
This will be a little wonky. Tommy's going to try to get these drivers up to the booth for...
Yes, indeed. We've got our Truck Series winner here, Steve Roman.
What's going on, guys?
What was that? I mean,
that was a lot of fun.
The Truck Series battle tonight, all throughout the night, whether you were involved in it or not, was just wild as we've ever seen here on the channel.
Yeah, it was.
Congratulations, first of all. Second of all, are you wore out?
Yes, I am. I'm all wore out and all sweating. It was a great, hard-fought couple of laps there at the end. Like you said, it was a wild one all the way through.
I mean, what did it take to wrangle this truck tonight?
I just try to keep consistency. I didn't try to push it too hard. I figured if I just keep consistency and just tried to hit my marks on every lap, I figured it'd come to me or it wouldn't. And luckily, I was in the position there at the end.
Matt, what you got?
Well, you had to show some patience to just wrangle in the setup here tonight, but also had to show some patience and worked out for you. The two drivers in front of you on multiple occasions kind of took each other out, and you were right there to scoop up the scraps.
Yeah, I kind of wondered that second time there if it was going to happen, so I was kind of just laying back and waiting to see how it played out and just trying not to get caught up in anything there.
Well, I mean, a hard-fought win if we've ever had one here on the channel. Nice job here tonight. People you got you want to shout out or say thank you to or hello to?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast here for us. Thank Corey for putting everything together for us here, and just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you, partner. It is greatly appreciated. Always great to get you up here in booth 200. Even better as a race winner, so hopefully more of that after the holiday break here. But congratulations here tonight.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And we'll welcome in already our GT3 race winner. It is the reigning GT3 ASRL Sports Car Champion, Brody Gunter, with the win here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. That was a very fun race. It was cool. I rarely get to be in the slower class cars. I'm usually in the prototypes. But I had a blast tonight.
I mean, you had to work for it. An early meatball put you on the back foot. You work your way back up with some aid of the caution as well. But I mean, you had to fight again there in the closing laps, scrapping away with Brian Deese on alternate strategies. I mean, this was no walk in the park tonight.
No, sir, it definitely wasn't. It was very hard. Brian was trying different strategy. Told me he was hoping that I'd make mistakes and help him be able to save fuel. But I felt like I told myself that's the hardest subject in the Ferrari, and actually make no mistakes. I felt like when I was chasing him down. But it was a very fun race. I appreciate Corey and you guys for putting it on.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, yeah, it was a great race. You put on a great show. It was fun watching you, especially there right at the end trying to track down Brian. Interesting strategy from him. He decided to not come down pit road, I believe, on the full course yellow. Was that a thought that kind of ran through your mind, or were you pretty confident your pace would just win out at the end?
I mean, I kind of like. I don't know how to answer that. I guess I was kind of just going with what the car was doing fuel tank wise.
I mean, whatever it was, you got the job done. So you can go celebrate a race win here tonight. Another one. Shout outs for you. Anybody you want to say hello to or thank you to?
I guess my mom and dad and my grandparents are there watching, as well as and thank you guys again for broadcasting this, and Corey for putting this on. It was a very fun event.
I'm glad you had fun here tonight. Glad we could get you another race win to head into the holiday. Go celebrate here tonight.
Will do.
We'll await our winner of the Lotus 79 class. Ross Harlow will be next up on the interview train. And here he is. First Booth 200 appearance for Ross Harlow. And a big congratulations. Another driver that's, despite it only being a two-car class here tonight, he certainly had to work for it.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, James Watson and JJ over there, they're certainly not pushovers. They're really, really talented drivers. Been friends with James for quite a few years now. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. 2 cars or 10 cars, you get a couple of guys around you that you're comfortable with, and you got a lot of confidence that you can, really go wheel to wheel with them. You're gonna have fun with it, and the multi-class thing really kept you on your toes. I mean, we were a lot closer to the P2 speed than I think any of us expected, but coming up on those trucks, man, if you weren't paying attention, you were going to run somebody over.
Absolutely. And I mean, to your point about staying on your toes, I mean, this is obviously a wonky event to begin with, but normally when we feature the Lotus on the channel, we are running it at 25% fuel capacity. This thing was loaded up with 33 gallons of fuel at the start of these runs. I mean, this car it looked to be a handful all night, and I'm sure it was.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think they were ever meant to hold that much gas, but I don't know if you could see it at the start of the race, but I mean, I swear the thing was just scraping everywhere. I could hear it over the engine, just.
I mean, every even slightly banked turn here, yes, you were bottoming out, both of you were.
Oh yeah, but it started out really, really tight. Really just felt like we were driving a Mack truck almost, but by the end of it, I mean, she was about as lively as any car I've driven on the server. It was everything I could do to keep it pointing the right way, really. Wound up backwards a couple times, just went to rattle the curbs like I normally would in pretty much anything else, and just bottomed out, picked the rear tires up, and when they touched it, kicked around. But fortunately, didn't take anybody with us when that happened.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, congratulations on the win in the class, and thank you for working with me on the getting the camera set up. Really appreciate you running one of those for us here tonight. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Would there be any interest in running a Lotus 79 League in the near future?
Funnily enough, there'd be a lot of interest in it. I actually bought the car today.
Oh, wow.
First laps in the car were in practice, so James and JJ were both. You need to come run this with us. All right, so yeah, definitely. I'm all about it. I had an absolute blast. I would love to see what these things are like with a field of 20, 25, 30 of the things. I can't imagine it's anything but absolutely spectacular.
It is high octane for sure, and high frustration depending on who you ask. It is a lot of fun. So we'll hope to see you on Wednesday nights as much as we possibly can here starting in January. But in the meantime, you get a class win here tonight. And a well-earned and well-deserved one at that. So as you got anybody that you want to shout out or thank or say hello to?
The Trading Paints definitely had some issues, so unfortunately couldn't show off the
great-looking car.
Track. Oh, yeah, she's beautiful. She really is. But Till Valhalla Project, my primary sponsor, they've been here with me for a good long time, a couple of years now. G&G's Gift, my Super Late Model Teams, charity sponsorship, Millie Mermaids Trove, Team Watson Racing Setups, Dropping the Hammer podcast. It takes a village, right? But and of course, biggest thank you to Mom, Dad, little brother, and the fiance for letting me do this. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do this sort of stuff, whether it's a one-off, whether it's a league race. Thank you to all you guys up in the booth. Thank you to Corey and Tommy and everybody who put this together. I absolutely love the I love the charity idea and being able to work that into a sim race and something that we all know and love. So big thank you to all of you guys for putting on such a great event, such a great show, and donating to such a great cause.
Absolutely, partner. Go celebrate a win. Go take an ice bath or something to cool down after that one. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again here soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tommy. Have a good night, guys.
And with that, it is time now to talk to, believe it or not, do believe, if I'm not mistaken, a first-time winner here on Turn 200, and in spectacular fashion nonetheless, the kind of fashion we expect from the great James Lehman. Finally a winner, and does it in the endurance race here on Turn 200. Congratulations on the win. Holy cow, what a night. Man, you find yourself in quite a few battles throughout the course of the night as well.
Yeah, it sure was a lot of fun. Sitting there battling with Nick for most of the race, and then having to deal with the lap traffic. I mean, these trucks, when you'd catch them, it's just oof. You would have to slam the brakes sometimes because they're just that slow through certain corners. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed battling there with Nick and Grant and not Carrie, Justin. That's what it was. That was fun.
I mean, this is our first real good look on the channel, and I think Matt and I just in general, of the Super LMP2 and the Dallara here in particular. I mean, from our vantage point up top, it looks like it's just all out all the time. So we were a bit surprised when we saw on lap 24, the report from Kyle Zittel was that he had 18% tread left on the right front tire. I mean, for as much as it looks all out for the entire run, how much does the run change from the perspective of the cockpit there? How much are you changing throughout the course of a green flag stint?
Changing a lot, honestly, because because that 18% is no joke. I think after the first stint, I was down to 8% in my left front. It just you gotta back it up, and you're trying to stay consistent while still going full out at the same time, because these cars are all about momentum. And yeah, at first, like the first couple laps, you can go all out and you ain't got to worry about too much, but then you have to back it down at some point because your tires will just get a little too hot, and then you'll just start sliding the left front more, and then you'll wear it out faster. So it's just all about picking and choosing when you want to back off, because once you back off for a certain amount of laps, then you can get about a good 2 laps of going really hard on the tires, and then you have to back off again for a little bit. So.
Matt, what do you got here for the race winner?
Well, congrats on the overall and the class win here tonight. I'm curious what it's like being pretty much the fastest car on the track, having to work through all of the traffic. This is a very unique event where we have cars of all kinds of different speeds out there on the racetrack. Maybe not the widest track in the world either. What's it like flying through the turns here, but knowing that there could be a very slow truck as you round the corner?
It was very difficult, I would have to say, because the trucks were the biggest, I'd say, headache going through the traffic and stuff. Like when I pull up to a Lotus or a GT3, I didn't have as much of a headache. It was when definitely pulling up the truck, especially the bus stop. God, you could lose like 4 seconds in the bus stop alone if you got trapped behind a truck, and you're not gonna want to go around them in the bus stop because it's just gonna freak them out or wreck yourself in the process. So it's all about patience, mainly tonight.
I mean, there's no greater spectacle out of this race, I don't think, than watching you and Nick. I mean, literally all 4 tires off the ground in the bus stop, hitting all of the curbs, basically. That is just, from the TV1 camera, that is just a ridiculous sight.
Yeah.
It's got to feel cool to pull it off, but scary while it's happening.
Yeah, definitely. When you enter the bus stop there, it's you hit that first curb, and then it sends you airborne for a split second, and then you're instantly turning left and slamming the throttle at the same time. it blows my mind on how these cars are, and it's honestly fun, because I think there was one time, I think it was in the first 5 laps, Nick did it, and he got sideways in the bus stop, and then I did it like 20 laps later after the fuel stop, and I was like, yeah, it's just the luck of the draw, I guess, if the car doesn't settle right after that bump.
I mean, Matt and I remarked a couple of different times during the course of this race. I mean, that car just looks fun to drive, which is exactly what you just said there. I'm glad we're on the same page about that. And we're on the same page of you finally being a race winner here on the Turn 200. It's been long overdue and long awaited, and it's finally here tonight. And, I mean, maybe the most difficult race we've ever had here on the channel. Tough as nails as always. James Lehman, the winner here tonight. I know you got people you want to shout out and thank here, so we'll leave you to it here from the top step.
I want to thank Corey for putting this on. It was a great charity event to do. I'm glad that I could pass my donations on. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it. I'm gonna go back and watch it right after this because I know you guys are doing a fantastic job. And thanks to everybody that tuned in and watched it.
Absolutely, we're excited as excited to get ASRL back on the channel next year. Equally as excited to get Max V, the long season, on Thursday nights. Going forward for next season. So very excited for that, and very excited for you to get the win here tonight and earn the win at that. So hopefully this isn't the last time we talk to you for a while, but if it is, best of luck to you going forward, and happy holidays. In the meantime, go celebrate a race win here tonight.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you too.
Alrighty, Matt. That is just about gonna wrap things up here tonight. I know you've got a laundry list of things to do to close out the stream as usual, so I'll just let you get started right now.
Yeah, I sure do. A few more here tonight. Obviously, always like to thank anybody that's out here chatting with us tonight. So we're going to roll through these. Monstrosity, Peter Donchak, Matt Schlosser, Corey Rutherford, of course, the man that put this thing together. Thank you so much to Corey. Grant Turner, who was in the race showing off his pedals. Was pretty cool to see those on the stream. Always love something new here. That was the first time, so thank you to Grant. Joshua Rutherford of Mullet Music Productions, JJ Wang, of course, Neil Usher asking what time the race starts and if he could still make it. Let's see, who else do we have here? Michelle Kirk as well. Of course, the man, Garrett Rainey, the Rain Man, helped us get the 500 subs tonight, and big donation from him as well. We'll get to donations here in just a second. Let's see. 06 Champ, he's in the chat, and I just learned his name is Jeff, so thank you to Jeff. And Pat at Virox, that's Pat Combs, who was in the race here tonight. Thank you to Pat as well, who was a new subscriber tonight, hopping in the chat. Thanks for being a part of the race. I really appreciate that. Stickers McQueen hopping in here at the end as well. Thank you to all of you who were here in the chat hanging out with us here tonight. And anybody else that was watching that did not throw us a comment, thank you very much for tuning in. And now, we also have donations to go through. These are only the names that are on our direct link that we have here. So probably missed quite a few people with this. But we had Dale Mickelson, a couple anonymous people that threw in quite a bit of money. So thank you to those. You know who you are. Garrett Rainey threw in $50, like I mentioned. Huge donation from him. Nathan Reynolds with $25. JJ Wang. I believe Ross was in here as well. That may have been his entry, but thank you to Ross. And Michael Hammond threw in $10 as well. I know we have quite a few more. I think Nathan Palawoda, a couple more anonymous people. Thank you to everybody that donated.
Samard.
Oh, Pascal Samard, yes. Thank you to anybody that donated through that direct link. Also, just from entries, Corey has said that we had $500 just in entries. The direct link totals at $330 right now, so roughly $800+ going to Toys for Tots here at the end of the night. So that is massive. Thank you to everybody that was a part of it. And Tommy, I have one more thing I'd like to do. We hit 500 subs today, and you always ask who everybody else wants to thank. I want to give you your moment and ask you who you would like to thank here after tonight.
Well, there's quite a few people I want to thank. first of all, I would like to thank, of course, all of the league admins have brought us their product to showcase, and hopefully we've done right by them. Of course, Christopher Kresge. Oh gosh, I'm gonna blank now. Of course, Ryan Dye, Kyle Zittel with Venom Truck Series, Corey Rutherford with the ASRL, as well as Rick Thompson, James Lehman, Justin Michael, Scott Patton, Kerry Cleaver, everybody with Maximum Velocity Racing League, JJ Wang for bringing us in with the Mission Art Challenge, us with Truck 200 and the Daredevil. Who am I missing? Who is the league admin that I'm missing? I'm missing somebody.
Who's the league admin for Formula Super Series? Is it James?
Oh, it is Zach Flaum. Thank you.
Zach
I'm
Flaum.
missing Zach Flaum. Yes, it is. That is a blossoming relationship, but one we very much value here, and one that's brought a lot of eyes to Turn 200 as well. So, thank you to Zach. Thank you to Corey. Thank you to Ryan. Thank you to Kyle. Thank you to James and to Justin and to Scott and to Kerry and Christopher Kresge. And to Matt Houston as well. Thank you to RJ Starcevic. Thank you to Nathan Reynolds. I'm going to get in trouble for who I don't thank here, I think.
I was going to say, you're throwing out a lot of names here, and I know you're going to forget some.
I'm just thinking of anybody that's ever recommended us that I know for a fact. I mean, we have so many regulars here that just do so much for the channel. It is ridiculous. Garrett Rainey, of course, with the sub boost tonight. That was massive. I mean, there's so many drivers have. JJ Wang, I think it started off as a meme, but JJ Wang is maybe the most wholesome person that we've ever come across. So maybe it's less of a meme than I think it is. But he says that the Turn 200 family is what keeps coming up more and more as things roll along. So. I mean, we just have more and more drivers that do more of the leagues that we broadcast, and I like to think that we do right by them, or at least that's what I strive to do, is to, as silly as it sounds, tell people story through sim racing, and we try to do that as much as possible and as well as possible. So none of that is possible without people who drive well and have stories to tell. So thank you to everybody that races in a league or all the leagues on Turn 200. And last but not least, the person that I want to thank is, of course, Oprah Winfrey. No. No, it is Matt Williamson, who takes just so much time out of his own personal life to come and be forced to hang out with me. There's no money in it. There's no glory in it. But it is just beyond appreciated, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate everything that you do for me and for our little YouTube channel here. That is continued to grow because of your efforts and everything that you do to make this broadcast booth what it is and what it will be for months, if not years, if not decades to come. That remains to be seen. But thank you to you, and thank you to everybody that's watching. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. Thank you to everybody that donated tonight. Yes, thank you all around. Thank you for 500 subs, and here's to 500 and 500 and 500. That's about all I got to say about that.
Well, I would just like to interject, and as much as Tommy likes to call me the GOAT and appreciates my my time, I don't think anybody realizes how much time Tommy puts in. He is the one that puts together all the graphics, all the video packages, works more closely with all the admins than I do. He does, I would say, 90% of the behind-the-scenes work leading up to a race, and we have 4 or 5 of them a week, so it's a lot of work, and it's he does it so well, gracefully, and I just want you all to know how much effort he puts in, and really does love this, as do I, and we are just so grateful that we've created a little Turn 200 family, as JJ likes to say, here. So thank you to all 501 subscribers at this point, and to the many more to come, hopefully. And anybody that supports us, and I don't know. I really don't know what to say at this point. Just thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I think that's a good way to close it out here. Also with a reminder of what to come here. Things started to wind down 2023 side of things as leagues are starting to go on their holiday breaks. Still some action to come, though. Of course, tomorrow afternoon, for those of you here in the United States, 2 o'clock Eastern, it is the return of the top split strength to field broadcast for the Mission R Challenge. That is at Alton Park tomorrow. Slightly different layout than what we saw last season, but still some excellent electric car racing is on the way tomorrow afternoon. It's back, the Mission R Challenge. Monday night with the Formula Super Series, they are at Okayama for their 5th round of their 10-round season, their last before their holiday break. Likewise for the Venom Truck Series, which will be hitting their halfway race of their 16-race season on Tuesday at Dover. So they will head into their holiday / all-star break after the Monster Mile on Tuesday night. And then no Wednesday action as ASRL is off a while on the road racing side of things. And then Thursday nights, we are off as well. We will not see Max V action back until the week of the Daytona 500. So that is all we've got for you here in the upcoming calendar. Thank you again to everybody that's subscribed. If you haven't done so already, you have an opportunity to be sub number 502 on the way out of the stream here tonight. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you for the lights. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for all of it. We'll hope to see you back here sometime in the near. But until we meet again here, for everybody with ASRL, for the Rutherfords, for the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from the multi-class charity bash here from Watkins Glen, where James Lehman, Ross Harlow, Brody Gunter, and Steve Roman are your winners here tonight in a wild event.